This is What's Now. I'm your host, Christine Napier. We are glad that you're here with us. This is a show where we find out what everyone is talking about, what you need to watch so you can be ready for your next small home family dinner conversation and much more. Up first, the mid-season return of Tyler Perry's Sistas. I spoke with the stars of the series. Let's take a look right now.
The ups and downs of love and friendship and the pressure of being 30-something and single. This is all happening in Tyler Perry's Sistas, and the mid-season is returning as BET's hit series. Talking with us today are two of the stars of the series, Ebony Obsidian and DeVale Ellis. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Ebony, let's start with you. Tell me a little bit more about the show, especially leading up to this mid-season.
Oh man, I'm the worst when it comes to knowing what stops where. So DeVale cut me off if I say anything I'm not supposed to say.
Okay.
But the show in general basically goes along with four young women who are all friends, and they all come from very different walks of life, different careers, and also different love lives. So I play Karen, and she is in this interesting entanglement with these two equally wonderful gentlemen with very different backgrounds themselves. DeVale plays Zach Stop. DeVale plays Zach, who is her long-term on-again, off-again boyfriend. And yeah, they're trying to work through that. And at the moment, it's not quite working.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in right there and kind of stop. Yeah. I'm going to stop Ebony right now because we are not equal. I saved Karen's life. Like, how can you say we equal when I saved your life? He brought drama to you. I saved your life.
I said equally.
We can't be equal. Nobody who saves your life can be equally wonderful with anybody else.
I apologize.
Stop it there.
I'm just trying to be fair, but okay.
I understand.
So DeVale, is it fair to say that your character is pretty clutch in that series?
Yes, ma'am. He's definitely Zach. One thing you can rely on Zach is Zach is reliable. He's going to be where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. He always has Karen's best interest at heart. And he's a nice guy. He's struggling a little bit on how to grow up, but he's definitely a nice guy.
And Ebony, tell me a little bit more about Karen. What are some things that you really relate to in her character? And are other things that maybe are a little bit more difficult for you to play?
You know what? I'll say there's actually no part of Karen that's difficult for me to play, even though it may not be my own personal experience or characteristics. I think I understand her very well. I think she's someone who knows what she wants, but doesn't necessarily know how to get it. She's very stubborn and she's very hard on herself. She's very critical of the point that she's at in her life right now in terms of relationships, right? She has a great friendship with her three best friends. She is trying to balance out this work life and home life. And there's this really big chunk of life missing because she doesn't quite have the one. She doesn't have the one, and she can't really move forward with other things that she wants to start building in her life. So she's pretty hard on herself. And I understand where she's coming from because I feel like, you know, women are very different than men in terms of we have biological clocks. We have, you know, I almost think nowadays, especially, women set goals very differently than they did, say, like 50 years ago. So she's someone who is pushing very stubbornly forward. And sometimes it gets her hurt because sometimes we do things we think we deserve. And then, you know, it turns out we really want to do the opposite. And that may be what's best for us.
And DeVale, you're a former NFL player. You've done quite a lot of acting. In this particular role, is there anything that you really rely on that you learned in the NFL that really helps you within this series?
Well, not in particular in this role, but in every role I take, it's just doing the work. You know, being a professional athlete, there's tons of homework and studying that goes into playing each game. So when you come to set and you come to each character, you have to do the homework on the character. And that means building out the character from the time they're a youth up until where we are now. Like Ebony said, you have to understand the character in order to play the character. Because once you understand the character's perspective, it's easy for you to drop in that pocket and say, my character would do this as opposed to DeVale would do this. Mm-hmm. So I think just learning how to study and taking advantage of appreciating the craft and appreciating the craft of acting like I did with football.
And Ebony, we just have a few moments left. Anything else that you'd like our audiences to know as we head into this mid-series return?
Well, specifically with the mid-season that's coming out the 27th, Wednesday the 27th. Like DeVale said, I think understanding that, we're very separate people from our characters is a good thing to keep in mind. The show is going forward. These people are going forward. Karen is going forward. Zach is going forward. And
Team Zach, baby. Team Zach.
Relax. So yeah,
everyone
just
is moving forward.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Ebony DeVale, for joining us today here on Park City Television. You can watch Tyler Perry's Sistas, the mid-season premiere, returns on BET. Thanks again for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.